actually have no idea what's happening here. I've never been to a wedding in my life. I've never been to a wedding. One of my biggest decisions I ever made, I was 13 years old, and I'm going to talk about that decision in this video. My billion decisions. They took me from somewhere to somewhere else. And well, this was a really bad idea. One of my older brothers, Kevin, got married in 1975. They've been married now for 47 years. Anyways, I was 13 years old, and my brother Kevin wanted all of us to come to the wedding. Okay, we were all invited. So, of course, back in those days, my dad used to cut our hair, used to give us a buzz cut, much like I look today. Look now, that's how my hair would have looked back then. My dad would have cut my hair with clippers. And generally, he'd cut my ears half the time, and you'd scream, and then he'd whack you on the side of the head and tell you to shut up. Anyways, but that's an aside. That was a commonality back in those days. So, but anyways, I was 13 years old, so Kevin wanted us to look good. So he paid for us to go get our hair cut at a barber or whatever, so it actually looked a bit nicer. So they trimmed it, they didn't buzz cut us, basically. So we had a normal haircut for the first time in my entire life. That's what I remember from Kevin inviting us to his wedding. The problem is, I refused to go to his wedding. Really upset Carol. She hated me for ages. I hope she didn't hate me, but she was certainly mad at me for a very long time. And I didn't mean to offend her. I just didn't believe in it. I just thought to myself, marriage is antiquated. Something in my head said, marriage is antiquated. And I just didn't want to go. And so, of course, I missed Kevin's wedding. That was in 1975. That was the first one I was invited to. And then, of course, other brothers and sisters got married, and I missed all their weddings. And, of course, I can't go to my friends' weddings because I missed my brothers and sisters' weddings because they would have beat the hell out of me if I went to the other people's weddings but not theirs. So it sort of it was like a snowball effect, and it just carried on through my life. I simply have never gone to a wedding in my life. People ask me to be best. I've been asked to be best man a few times. I've been proposed to a couple times. I've just never. I just refuse to get married. I don't want to get married. I'm single to this day, and I'll probably be single until I'm dead. And if someone tries to marry me after I'm dead, please beat them. I don't care. I'll condone violence after I'm dead. Beat them. No, I've never been to a wedding in my life. And it started in 1975. And the closest I've got, I was with some friends, and we wound up at some reception that was going on. I found out later it was a wedding reception. I didn't know that. And another time, people were renewing their vows. So we were at the party for that. And, that's the closest I've ever got to a wedding. I've never been inside a wedding hall. I have no idea what goes on, no clue, never been there, and I will refuse to go. And any of my friends out there who want to ask, please don't. I will say no. And it's not to offend you. It's simply, I've never been to a wedding. I don't feel comfortable going to weddings. In fact, I don't go to funerals either. I just don't, something in my head just says no. Anyways, I've never been, so there. And I can say with some certainty that it wasn't simply because of me thinking divorce rates were high at 13. I had no idea. I really had no idea. You can see in this graph here, off the internet somewhere, that the number of divorces as a percentage have been rising. So you get in the 1800s, it was like less than 10% divorce rate. And then it went up to 25% in 1945. Funny, just after World War II. Interesting that. And now in the last 25 years or 40 years, this data only goes to 2005, the marriage rate and the divorce rate are tracking each other. So the percentage of divorces is probably about equal, or it looks like it's falling off slightly, but it's probably because fewer people are getting married, so more people live together than marry. Anyways, this is not the reason why I did not believe in marriage. This is not the reason why I did not go to my brother's weddings and my sister's weddings. I did not go to them because I just never thought it was right. But this is not the reason. No, I've never been to a wedding. I've never, I don't know. Let me stop with that. But let me say this. I mean, I've dated many people over the years, and I was quite shy when I was very young, and so I had to develop an approach that I thought I could do that could meet people, and I started acting kind of silly. So I would say silly things and do silly things, and you kind of sort of imagine, here I stand, I'm almost bald now. I've lost all my hair from living in Brazil, from a disease I got there. It caused me hair loss. It's irrelevant. But I used to have long hair down to my shoulders and a big handlebar mustache. And at university times, I looked, a little psychotic, a little scary to a lot of people. And most women wouldn't have anything to do with me. So you have to develop approaches with which to meet people, to meet women. And of course, being shy, it's even worse. So I would just say stupid things and crazy things, and I would gauge their reaction to me, and from that I would determine if they have a sense of humor or not, because I figured they needed a sense of humor to put up with me. And that's the truth. I used to make a joke that women liked me for a day, and after about 6 months, they really actually figured out they hated me. And it's unfortunate, but I think the correlation seems to fit, because my relationships were really quite short. I would date a woman and they would go away. But part of the problem was, as I said, I didn't know, and I didn't know if I liked somebody or not. So I would date large numbers of women at the same time when I was very young. So I would date 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 women, and that don't work too good. Because if they find out if they see that you're doing that, they'll just stop dating you immediately. But the real answer was just pure statistics to me. It was just pure math. I didn't think of any other way to think about it. It was really about identifying that person I really liked and then stop dating the other ones. It was very simple, but of course it leads to real problems, because there's times when one's coming in the door and the one's going out the door and things like that. And that didn't happen too often. I don't want this to sound like I was a real player and stuff like that. I really wasn't. I mean, like I said, most women figured out very quickly that I wasn't the right type of person to date, and they would just leave me naturally. I remember a woman calling me and telling me on the phone, what did she say to me? She said, Gordon, I just want to be friends. And I said, I've got a lot of friends right now. I don't think I need any more. And my friends were sitting around on the couches watching TV as I was talking to this poor woman, and now they're on the floor rolling, laughing, just laughing at me. And another time, for a while, I met these really crazy women. I mean, right out of their head crazy, possibly from mental institutions. I know one had been put into a mental institution by her parents because she was having problems. Really attractive woman, very nice woman, had a great sense of humor. I really liked that about her. She just was. And yet, she was crazy. She had things. There was just things in her head that would just go a little, it would just go sideways. And so I was meeting all these crazy women. And I mean, at one time there was one woman in my office. What the hell happened? She was talking about phantom people attacking her. And maybe they were true, but anyways, there was one time I'm running down a road. I ran down a road because she said, there goes the vehicle of the guy that did X. And I'm chasing after a phantom vehicle. The vehicle didn't even exist. I didn't see it. I just started running in the direction she pointed. I got a quarter mile away and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? And I came back. And then I realized there's just something wrong. I mean, I sat in a 24-hour restaurant once because she said one of her attackers would meet her there, and I was going to beat the guy up. Because I take people at their word. You tell me that this, and this happened, I'm going to believe you. And at the time, I was the kind of a person that you don't do that kind of stuff to people. And so this poor woman's telling me, I must have been 21, 22 years old, and really very aggressive, and not a really nice person, quite honestly, back then. And so I was just really, angry a lot, angry at the world, and it showed. I mean, I could have a sense of humor and I could have fun and whatnot, but things like that, they put me over the edge. And I thought, no, this is BS. We're going to do something. We're going to find this guy, and I'm going to teach him a lesson. So we're sitting at different tables in this restaurant, 24-hour restaurant, and she, waiting for this person to arrive. Well, no one arrived, and then you start getting suspicious. The old red flags, start going up in your head. Maybe there's something funny with this person. And I found out later that she had, she was a nursing student, yes, but she was also, getting treatment mentally, at one of the hospitals. in Connell 4, that's where they put psych patients and whatnot. And she was having psychological treatment in that. And I found that out later. I didn't know. Anyways, my friends, I remember one time we we're at the bar, the engineering pub. You know, we call it ritual on Friday. Everybody goes to the pub at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's all the engineers, the physicists, the grad students. We're all sitting there. And of course, I don't drink. I'm drinking Coke. And my friends are all laughing at me. They're all killing themselves, going, you know, you date all these crazy women, Gordon. This one, that one. They carried on reminding me. And I'm like sitting there drinking my Coke quietly. And I stop and I go, they don't know each other. And my friends all look at me, they all go quiet, and they go, what the hell does that mean? I said, they don't know each other. I know them. They don't know each other. In other words, it's not like a cabal saying, let's all go bugger Gordon up and date him because we're all crazy. No. There's no crazy fan club for Gordon MacLeod. There ain't none. What it was is I was picking them. So whatever I was doing, I was picking these people that were all a little nuts, a little crazy, maybe like myself, maybe I'm a little crazy. Anyways, and they go, but how does that help you? I go, well, it's simple. If I find a woman I really like, I'm going to date the woman standing beside her. I'm going to try to date the woman standing beside her. I'm going to try to ask her to date her, whatever. And I tried that. That didn't work either. It just didn't. It's just what it is. But I stopped meeting these really crazy women at least because I recognized it was me picking them. And so, you know, that's kind of what relationships was like for me a long time. And I've been very fortunate. I've met some amazing women in my life. I've lived with a couple. I've been absolutely crazy, you know. And I've been very lucky. I really must say I've been very lucky. And I'm good friends with a lot of them to this day. And I've apologized to virtually all of my ex-girlfriends because I was just never, I have a wanderlust. I can't sit still. I'm always going somewhere. And as a result, relationships don't do well. It's not just that the women didn't like me. Those ones ran away. They didn't have to worry about those ones. They were gone. They're out of here. Man, you're on your own. I'm thinking, well, that's, you know, terrible. So I'm really good at breakups. I know nothing of makeups. People say, oh yeah, but how do you make up with a girl if you've done this? I go, I have no idea. I'm only good at how breakups work. I know what they're going to say before they say it. I've gone through it so many times. It's just terrible. You know, just terrible. So when someone says, well, I just want to be friends. I've got enough friends, thank you. And when you meet people, and you go out and you meet people, and you meet crazy people and stuff like that, you meet all kinds, of course you do. You meet crazy people, normal people, all kinds. And I dated these two women. They were identical twins. I dated them a year apart, so let's be fair. I'm not nothing special, but trust me. But they were both, how would I describe it? I don't know. They were both divorced 3 times each, just to give you an idea. Identical twins 3 times each. And they both wanted to make me their 4th husband. And remember, going back to the idea that I said, you know, when I make this comment about the girls didn't know each other, the women didn't know each other, and I was picking them. So it means that I'm probably the type of person that they're interested in to become husband and wife with. And I thought to myself, my God, I mean, this is terrible. Not because of that, but because of the stories they said. They would tell me how the husband was an alcoholic and the husband beat them and stuff like that. I'm thinking to myself, am I one of those people? Firstly, I don't drink, so I'm not the alcoholic. And 2, I don't like hitting people. I especially don't like hitting women because I'm so much stronger than most people, I would hurt them. And so I didn't do it. No matter how angry I got, I wouldn't do it. I've only hit one woman in anger. It's because she was punching me incessantly and wouldn't stop. She was drunk, and I just lost my temper, and I backhanded her and I knocked her out. And she was okay. She wasn't bruised or nothing like that, but I knocked her down, and I felt terrible. Absolutely felt terrible. And I apologized, obviously. And if she wanted to charge me, she's welcome too. But I'll accept my punishment. But the point is that I used to listen to these stories. You date all these divorced women because the divorce rates, 20, 30, 40, 50%, who knows in the area you're in. And you meet all these women that they generally are divorced, at least the women that I met. And the stories they told you, it was horrible. My husband was an alcoholic. My husband beat me. And then you date that woman for 3, 4, 5 weeks, and you start thinking about picking up the bottle and starting to drink heavy. And it's always a joke I tell people, but it's not funny really. It isn't, because these people have had hard lives. And I met these people, and I take them at face value, and I really liked a lot of them. And I've gone back, and as I said, I've apologized to as many as I possibly could. I made an effort to go back and find every single woman I dated and apologize for being such an ass, because I am. Because I'm not that I'm not stable. It's like I kind of describe it as I just can't stay put long enough. My mind just moves on to the next thing, and it's very difficult for me to stay focused and fixated in one spot. And as a result, it damages relationships. So, and then of course, when I'm onto an idea or something like this, back when I was younger, I wanted my career in astronomy, that I had no interest. I was so fixated on finishing my PhD, going to South Africa to work at the observatory, or whatever I was going to do next. And so it just always sort of lost me. I mean, time just flew by, and these poor women who were waiting for me, or whatever they were doing at the time, I doubt they were waiting. They were just running away. And of course, that's the way it is. So, yeah, it was bad. No, I've never gone to a wedding. I've missed all of my brothers. I have 11 brothers and 2 sisters. Okay, well, two of my brothers have never been married, but all the rest have been married. And in fact, most of them, for the most part, have been married a very long time. Kevin and Carol, the couple, my brother and sister-in-law, who got married in '75 when I first refused to go to a wedding. It was their wedding I refused first. I mean, they've been married for 47 years. Patty and Gary, my oldest sisters, they've been married for 50 years this year. My brother Alec has been with his girlfriend and now wife since 1979, so 40 odd years again. So, and my brother John has been with his wife for a length of time. Kevin and Carol have been married for 25 plus years. Murray and his second wife have been married for 20 plus years. He was married 20 years first. So our family is really quite loyal. Our mom and dad were married for 64 years before my dad died. But I just never wanted to go to weddings. When I was a kid, I didn't believe in it. I didn't believe in religion. I didn't believe in all these crazy things, and I had all these funny ideas in my head. But, as you go through life, you begin to evolve, and you begin to realize how important family is, how important friends are, and relationships and stuff like that. And, yeah, but I can't do it, because I didn't go to all of theirs, and I feel uncomfortable. I actually just feel uncomfortable. I feel like I'm being hypocritical, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. And generally when I feel uncomfortable, I just walk away. And it's the same as funerals. I can't do it. I cannot go to a funeral where someone, because, that's not how I remember them. I don't want to remember them dead. I want to remember them living. And I don't want to remember them that way. I just can't do it. So that's a different reason, but it's the same story. I just can't do it. So I've never gone to my parents' funerals. I've never, my oldest brother died, I didn't go to that as well. And I've never gone to any of my friends who have died as well. So it's just terrible. Anyways, so this is, this sounds like a bit of a, morbid story, but it's not. It's just, I don't feel comfortable going to weddings, and I won't go, and I haven't done it, and I've never done it, and I don't intend to do it. My daughter will probably be upset, because when she eventually gets married, she might want me to be there. I don't know. I'm going to have to cross that bridge when I get there. But as of taping now, I would say, sorry, no, I can't go. But you see, for everybody, things are different. As I said, in my life, I'm looking for something. I don't know what the heck it is, and I'm guessing that when I find it, finally, if I do, I'll probably not know what I'm looking at. But the bottom line is, I think it's great that these people get married. I think a lot of my brothers and sisters are very happy and have been so for a very long time. My mom and dad certainly were. They had bad times and good times, but they were married for 64 years. Me, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't go. It's that simple. So, and it ain't because the people I'm meeting are crazy. It isn't because they're alcoholic or they've had terrible, none of that stuff. It's me. It's me. I'm admitting to it. It's me. So any of those ex-girlfriends out there who might see this, which I doubt, but if they do, sorry. Just sorry. I can't say anything else. Just sorry. So for all the rest of you, I hope your relationships are going well. Good luck with it. Keep at it. Please don't ask me to come to your wedding. The Jira Foundation will produce more videos like this. Please like, share, or subscribe if you enjoyed this video.